appearing here in Brisbane tonight, but unfortunately will be the last time this tour. Geezer, can you tell us why? I'll just run along the names though. Ronnie James Dio, Geezer Butler, and Vinnie Appice.
Yes.
Finally got it right, because your brother Carmen was out, and I was going, a piece, and everyone was doing it. Can't anyone get this name right? So we finally made it. Yeah. Geezer, what's the problem, mate? Why does the tour have to come to
a broken finger, as you can see.
Yeah.
And I did it in Japan about 2 weeks ago. And I just carried on playing with it, and I've done, a lot of damage to it. And the doctor says I've got an emergency operation on it now.
So how will you get around working tonight? With this
I
one
use these 2 fingers. That's what I've had to use them in Japan and Sydney.
All the way you've been playing with one broken finger.
Yeah.
There is a story behind it that, like when you heard it, you went to a Japanese doctor and he fixed it one way and apparently it was completely wrong.
Yeah, he fixed it so that it was bending over that way, if you know what I mean.
And now they've got to go in the other way.
And when I played the next night, the bones broke even more and severed all the tendons in it.
Oh, no.
And I went to a specialist in Sydney and he says, if I don't get it done, I can go into hospital tomorrow for an emergency operation.
Right.
If I didn't go in tomorrow, I'd never be able to use that finger again.
To the end of career.
Yeah.
So you better go in tomorrow.
Oh, I am.
That's in Brisbane or in Sydney, mate?
In Sydney, going back to Sydney.
Going back to Sydney. It's a sad thing to hear, and we've got to cancel some concerts. Will you tell us those, Ron?
Sure. We're cancelling, unfortunately, Adelaide and Melbourne, which are about 4 shows. 1 in Adelaide, 3 in Melbourne.
3 in Melbourne you've got to knock off, eh?
And from, of course, what Geezer told you, the reason is obvious that
it's quite legit.
Needs to be done so we can come back again next year.
You will be back.
Yes, we will.
Yeah,
definitely. Make up for it that way. Those people in Melbourne, great apologies from the band. I know they really are. Sorry. We'll just ask one question before we talk to you, Ronnie, about past things. Your concerts, apparently all bikies are quite strong in turning up to all the concerts. Is that still happening?
Mainly in England, yeah.
They tell me here in Brisbane there will be quite a few of them rolling up.
I don't know, we haven't played here for years.
No. Did it happen in other states that you played?
Not so much, was it? Not so much in America. You get a lot in England, man.
Might have quietened down a bit, eh? Here. Okay, can we go back to Rainbow Days and when you left there and joined Sabbath? Is there a reason that you left? Did you have this job offered to you? What was the reason?
I left for my own personal reasons, really. I wasn't very, pardon me, singing tonight, of course. I wasn't very happy, really, with the direction that the music was going in. We started the band with a concept in mind, and that concept got lost along the way. So I decided to just hop off. That would be the best thing for me. And luckily, in the interim between leaving Rainbow and sorting out another career of sorts, I was fortunate enough to meet Terry and Tony. Yeah. And we got this together.
It's good too.
That was great. Yeah.
What about the Graham Bonnet fill for Rainbow? Do you think that was a good selection?
Well, I don't know. I don't know Graham personally. I think he's a very fine singer. I think he's certainly doing a good job. I don't think Graham is doing very much writing with the band. I was much more involved in the writing. Richie and I did most of the writing for the band. So in Graham's case, I don't know what his feelings are. Richie's probably happier because he makes more money from publishing.
And Vinnie, you're the newest member.
Yes.
Yes. What bands did you come from, very quickly, if you could?
I used to play with Rick Derringer.
Oh, yeah.
Derringer Band, yeah. Then after that, had my own band, a 3-piece band called Axis. And right after that was Black Sabbath.
The Appice family is doing very well in the music business, aren't they? Good luck to you.
Drums.
Drums, right. Love the beat of the drums. Have a great night tonight. About to start their Australian tour. Been on the road for quite some time. We'll find out more about that. Steve, thank you for coming in, and you're one of the original members. And Bruce Air Raid Siren Dickinson is one of the more recent members to join. How long ago did you join?
About 14 months, something like that.
So you've been in that long?
Yeah. Oh, it's quite a long time, yes.
This tour, how long has it been going? It's phenomenal.
Started in February 25th in Britain and Europe. Went 5 months in the States, and right up till now. Really.
It's a lot of work on the road, isn't it?
Yeah, about 9 months. Yeah.
Are you tiring of it yet? You looking for a holiday?
No, I just got bored. We just had a 5-week No,
Oh, you did have a break.
5 days off.
5 days? Oh, big break.
Weeks, no. On the way across from America, we stopped in Hawaii.
And then that bored you?
Yeah,
You'd rather work.
I came here to Sydney to do loads of interviews because I got bored stiff sitting in the sun. I hate sunbathing. So.
Where did you get the title Air Raid Siren? I haven't heard any of those interviews you've done, so tell me, and I guess a lot of people out there would like to know.
Well, it started out from some guy who didn't actually, was less than complimentary about my singing. Yeah, he said something like, the new singer sounds like he's putting all the songs to an air raid siren in a cement mixer or something like that. So I thought it was pretty funny, and everybody else did, so they called me the air raid siren. So I don't mind,
Steve, when the band came together, which was what, about 4 years ago? 5 years?
No, about nearly 7 years ago.
7 now?
Yeah.
How did they come about selecting a name Iron Maiden?
Well, it's, I don't know, it's like a medieval torture device. I don't know if you knew that.
Explain it.
Well, it's like a big case with spikes in it. You just stick someone inside it and then close, spikes go right
there
through.
and the blood runs out all of the
Real nice stuff.
Real pleasant, yeah. Torture them.
So, were you into the medieval thing, or how did his idea was?
I like quite a lot of sort of medieval music and stuff, and old films with that sort of thing in it. And I like sort of Jeff O'Toole, do a lot of medieval stuff. I really like them.
Right, now, the change in membership, what brought that about? Was there a break of some time, or did you just decide you'd change over a couple of guys?
Well, Paul didn't really like, the old singer Paul didn't really like touring and that, and we took, like this year we'd sort of tour in 10 months, and last year we did about 7 months.
Yeah.
And he got really sort of tired of it, and after a couple of months he always wanted to go home and that, so he wasn't really getting into it on stage, and so we sort of decided it was like a mutual thing to split up.
And it's only the one guy that's changed?
We've had a couple of other changes before that, but Clive joined us the drummer joined us about 3.5 years ago.
Right.
And Adrian joined us, the other guitarist, joined us about 2.5 years ago, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
So it's been pretty stable for a while.
Yeah.
Where did this tour go to first, and what countries have you done up till now in the 9 months?
England.
Started off in England, then we went to the rest of Europe, like Germany, France, and Spain. And
The band was very big there, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
And then we did 5 months in America.
5 months through the States, was that all over, or just
Oh yeah,
in
all
certain
over.
areas?
Canada as well.
What was the reaction there?
Oh, right. Canada actually was I think it's our first platinum album.
Yeah?
No, it ain't.
So you've just got one out
Is it
here.
Australia?
In actual fact, I think
Yeah,
Australia's gonna beat
it's
it.
just gone platinum, and that's what I was going to say.
Oh, yeah.
Which do you think is your biggest market? Obviously, we've just established it's Australia, followed by Canada. Would that be right?
Well, in terms of probably sort of like gold, platinum, and all the rest of it. Yeah, I mean, Australia is been fairly outrageous. I mean, considering that the first 2 albums didn't do anything,
Right, all
might
of
as
a
well
sudden.
not have existed. And this album is,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Let's have a look at Run to the Hills. Stay with us for a little while if you can.
Right.
Got a bit of time up our sleeve. You're going to sweat to death in that leather jacket when you get outside. I tell you what, with this weather, eh? We'll talk more about that too, right after we have a look at this. Iron Maiden, you'll see them live around Run to the Hills. Steve, they went to what in
Number
charts
7.
over there?
Number 7, and the album went to number 1, but they still wouldn't play it on the radio.
The radio does it. It's a bit similar here. They just don't seem to give the heavier stuff a lot of airplay. Radio's the same in England.
It's
is
the
it?
same everywhere, really.
It's the same everywhere across the world.
Even in America?
Even in America. In America, and radio stations that started off being really progressive, playing sort of Sgt. Pepper and Zeppelin and stuff like that, are still playing Sgt. Pepper and Zeppelin.
Zeppelin, they haven't.
But all the rest of the new stuff they play has got to be kind of formula rock, because all the people who listen to Zeppelin are obviously grown up and now buy lots of pimple cream and toothpaste for their kids and all the rest of it.
Right,
That's what they're trying to sell them, on their adverts and things. So that's all they're interested in.
So we have a problem with radio worldwide, eh?
Oh, yeah.
With this form of music. When you're on stage, how many lights do you use? Some incredible figure.
Oh, I don't know exactly how many it is, but it's really hot.
Reading right now. Reading was a bit of a record for us. We used about 500,000 watts, 500,000 watts of light.
Do you know what temperature it would be on stage while you're working? Is anyone... H-O-T.
Actually, no one's actually measured it.
No one's...
We measure everything else. We measure the number of dB
We usually drip when we split
Right.
out with a couple of numbers, so...
Yeah, with the gear, do you lose weight? Do you sort of come off about 3 or 4 kilos lighter?
I suppose we must do a little bit.
Yeah, we put it back on afterwards when we're drinking.
Right.
In the bar, yeah.
Yeah, water
Dehydration is a
or
problem,
liquid straight away would put it back on, wouldn't
Yeah,
it? Get around that as quick as I
We got the
can.
remedy for dehydration.
Do you do anything prior to going on stage, having to work under those conditions, that to prepare yourself physically? I mean,
Keep yourself in shape generally a little bit. helps.
What do you do outside of the band? What are your pastimes?
I'm really into football, soccer, I don't know what you call it over. Football,
Right,
and tennis and most sort of sports, really.
Any one particular soccer team you follow?
Oh, yeah, West Ham United.
West Ham, right?
Yeah.
And yourself, mate?
Water sports.
Water sport?
I haven't said any more than
Not
that.
water bit.
What was the weather like in America before you came across?
Actually, the bad weather was sort of following us around everywhere. It was raining everywhere. Seemed to follow us around. It was all right in Texas, like.
We got to Hawaii, it chucked it down for about 5-6 days.
Was that warm
Monsoons, thunderstorms.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was outrageous.
So you've walked into here and all of a sudden you get the hot weather,
Yeah.
30s and 31s and 32s.
Yeah.
How do you handle that? Do you
Oh,
like
it's
that
great.
change of temperature?
I'm
as you
going to
go
take my
around the-
jacket off when I get outside. I'm going to handle it,
You'll have to, I tell you. I've got more to talk to you about. We'll have a look at another song. Number of the Beast, then we'll go to commercial, we'll come back and have
Yeah,
more
great.
chat. Eh?
Cheers.
The Number of the Beast. Do you know?
There's only really, obviously, AC/DC and Rose Tattoo that I've actually sort of seen.
Right.
Men at Work we saw over in the States.
Yeah.
Because they were doing a tour and
Impressed?
they're really
Their
big.
scene? Do you think it's
I didn't
got legs?
I didn't see them, Men at Work?
Yeah, no, I mean, our scene as such.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievably inventive. I mean, considering it's like a population of 15 million, I mean, the diversity of music and the quality is incredible.
Where did you pull women in uniform from? Who heard that first?
So where do you pull women from?
Actually, he was saying about the bands and that, but some of the old Skyhook stuff was really good, and that's where we got it
So
from.
you're going through that and decided on doing the song.
Yeah.
I've got to tell people what will be on next week. But goodbye. We'll go out with Jip. Good luck on the Australian visit, eh?
Yeah, thanks very much.
To people at home, same. Tell people what will be on next week very quickly. And Hot Choc, Errol will be in. Hall and Oates will have the lady and the guys out of the motel. So if you can catch us next week. Tonight on After Dark, Lisa Forrest, before she leaves for America, great swimmer that won medals at the Commonwealth Games. And the Riptides are going to mix music with sport. And tonight, the Betsy in North Sydney, you'll see you there, along with Rock the Groove. Guys, we've got to say goodbye. We'll go out with Gypsy, Fleetwood Mac, Steve and Bruce. Good luck on the Australian visit, eh?
Yeah, thanks very much.
To people at home, same time, same station next week. It's been nice having you.
It's like a scribble, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really hard to keep still too. Yes. Bloody berserk. There he is, God.
You've got a good score there, mate.
Scotty Harris.
Walk back a fraction. That's it. Smooth it back's easier, isn't it? It's a bit dark, but it'll do.
I think heavy metal, whatever you want to call it, I call it hard rock, personally.
Right, hard rock.
But it's never sort of been away. It's a direct descendant of Eddie Cochran and Little Richard and stuff. It's always
It's
been...
just ploughed on through, hasn't
People
it?
always want to go out there and do a bit of that, you know.
Right. Now, you obviously keep a set group of people with you over the years.
Yeah.
And you've been together, what, 9.5 or 9. But are there new, younger people hooking on to it too?
Oh, yeah.
It keeps on building as
All the
you go?
time, just, you know, one lot bows out and becomes mums and dads and things.
Right.
Sorry, everybody. And,
But those mums and dads still like to turn up
Sure.
when a group like yourself comes to town
they
too.
bring their kids.
Yeah, and then probably it's...
Thing is, in England and Europe, the audience is ranging from 10-year-old. They've
Yeah.
got the jackets on with all the names on the back,
Yeah.
and they've got patches on from Deep Purple and things like that, which they've never obviously seen.
Right.
But they're, you know, and so now the big vibe that's going out is that Deep Purple have reformed.
Yeah.
And no, you know, everybody's just waiting for it.
Right,
It's
certainly
either
are.
going to be terrible or really good, and I hope it's really good.
Gillen's been out here, of course, and he's a lovely guy. We met him in London.
Yeah, yeah.
At a certain
he's
pub that
great,
he always
Ian,
hangs
Great
out at.
guy.
He's a lovely fellow, so we're looking forward to him too. The media seems to have well, some of it, a little bit of, they feel threatened by the heavier or the hard rock bands. Mums and dads tend to, who don't know it. What advice would you give to them? And just explain what you are about and the fact that they really shouldn't be worried.
That's a very good question, isn't it?
Well, for me, I think that people go mad. Sorry about this, I've got my arm in a sling. I was wrestling with a lion yesterday, and
It won.
He was trying to remove a thorn from its
it nearly
paw.
won.
Oh, right.
No, I think the thing is, like, people go mad at gigs and jump up and down and cause a bit of damage in that, but you've got to take into consideration there's a lot of kids on the dole.
Yeah.
They're frustrated. A lot of people have got 9-to-5 jobs and they don't like them. So when they get to the gig, they just let it all go.
This is
from
their
there.
explosion.
Yeah.
That's why heavy metal's so
Let it-
popular in industrial
Yeah.
cities, you know.
Yeah, and it's a very basic feel, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
People-
insane in England because we got the highest
Out of
rate
work.
of out of work, 3 million out of work.
Which is unbelievable, but it
Yeah.
makes for a very big audience for this band.
That's why the
we've got
immigration
that.
era working overtime.
And that's why we got a lot of time for the kids, you know, because they save up and they pay for the concert tickets.
Sure.
And that's why we go on and give everything that we've got. I mean, when we come off stage, we're absolutely exhausted.
They, like you, become fanatical, don't they?
Yes.
I mean, you're there to pump it to them, and they're there to take
Pump
it
it
in,
back.
which is really
You know,
beautiful.
speed
Yeah.
back the
Let's
two.
have a look at you. I got mine, and if you can hang in, just we've only got time to say goodbye virtually, but we'll get something else in. You've got some hellos to do.
Yeah, I'd like to say hello to Phil, the guitarist, Phil Campbell, and
Good.
Wurzel that can't be here with us this morning.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to say hello to the road crew, Goom that works for me, Johnny Allen, Eagle, Obsy. What's the other one with the sling?
And the one with the sling.
Cubsy.
And you had a point to make, Lemmy?
Yeah, I'd just like to, could you come in here a bit, please?
It's got to be real quick, Lemmy.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. I'd just like to tell the mothers and fathers of Australia that it's too late now, because we're over here. And there's nothing you can do.
How did you get the name, nickname? Lemmy? Lemmy a quid? Was that
No,
true?
let me have a fiver inflation.
Lemmy, I heard that. Okay, next week on the show, OMD, Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark. Pete, Lemmy a fiver, will you, mate?
Hello, Margaret.
See you at the same time, same station next week.
I'm sorry.